Hi everybody, I am Edward Kosatka. In this screencast I will show you an advanced feature of the Hot Accounts program, namely how to import transactions using the Import Transaction screen. This screen allows you to import actual and budget transactions using a three-step method. First, we will select information and put it into the clipboard. The information can come from an open web spreadsheet, a notepad, a CSV file, or even an online bank application web page. Then we will press the paste button in the program, and this will generate records in a few work files, namely the ready for import and the rejected work file. And finally we will press the import button in the program, and this will generate the transaction records. All or none transactions are generated. There's also a second method to import actual transactions, and this is using a bank provided cash management.053 XML file, which is the latest standard in cash management reporting. In this case we will use the cash management.053 button to select and import information into the work file, and then finally the import button to generate the transactions. There's also an option to automatically assign budget items using a relationship between budget item and a counterparty name, or between a budget item and a counterparty name plus amount combination. Now, in this screencast we will limit ourselves to the import of simple actual transactions using the three-step method. So no budget transactions, also no cash management import. Okay, we will now start the program, and we will use the test2 database we worked earlier with. We'll go to the import screen, and this is found under the option Other and then Import Transaction. Now this screen is, as a number of other screens, rather crowded, so a lot of buttons and fields and options. And as you know, when you press on this question button, tooltip help is generated, is automatically shown when you hover over the fields. But now I will disable it. First of all, in this method we have to activate the paste button, and this is done by first selecting an account as default and also selecting a budget item as default. We will select the initialization account. So now the paste button is available, and we might copy some information into the clipboard now. Meanwhile, you can also see there are a number of required fields here, namely the column numbers of the date and the amount field, and then a number of optional fields, also here a number of options. And here you will see where the ready for import work file records will be shown, and here the rejected transactions will be shown. So now I go to the easiest is actually to work or to start with a spreadsheet, and we have to provide two fields, a date field and an amount field. So we will give here some information here. Date today, it's the 22nd of May 2013. I do this in the format as specified as in Windows. Also the amount. You see, I use here a comma as decimal separator because here in my setup, you see Desmontier format in the regional and language settings, and in my decimal symbols at Windows level I have the comma here as decimal separator. So you need to give here the same decimal separator as in Windows. If you ever would change these settings, you have to restart the Hot Accounts program before these new settings would be available. Okay, same date and now a negative 5, something like that. What I will do now is I will select this and press either Ctrl C or just copy here, and then go to the program, and now I will press the paste button. I have apparently not copied information. I will do Ctrl C again. Okay. The fact that you see here the data was copied to the working zone, 0 records are accepted, 0 rejected. This means nothing is in the clipboard. Well, okay, apparently it's now there. And you see, first of all, in the rejected transactions here, you see the rejected transactions has 2 fields. Namely, the first field is how the program sees the record from the clipboard, and then the reason of the rejection. And of course, as we have selected the title here in our clipboard copy, it's normal. The value date format is not acceptable or field not found. Then here in the ready for import work file, there we see 2 records, and we see an action A, and if you ever have, there are several actions in the program here, and if you go completely to the right, you will see the meaning of that code. Transaction record will be added. Okay. So, of course, the program has taken the default account, date as indicated, also the amounts, and of course the currency that belongs to the account. Also, see here, you get here information about this selected account. You see start and dates, also minimum maximum amounts, but more important, the total of the transactions here is minus 10.80 in euro, and the actual currently the account start balance is 1000, and after we would do the import, the balance will be that. Here you see also the total again, but this is, we will see in the future, you can also select several accounts. This will be the total over all the accounts. So we will press the import button now and see what's the result. Okay, it says transactions in the workflow file were successfully added to the actual transactions file, and we can see now, are they there? Yes, these are the 2 transactions that we have automatically generated, and also in the My Accounts you see the balance has changed. So go back to the import. What would be happen if we do paste again? Okay, we get now of course the first line generates an error, but also the second and the third line now generate an error. And the reason is duplicate transactions with the same account, value date, amount, reference, and counterparty detected. Entry is rejected. So there is a checking if already such records exist in the transaction file, but you can accept it if you say here allow duplicate transactions here, and we would press paste, then all except the title is accepted, and you see another action code, a dub, duplicate transaction detected, records will be added because allow duplicates override. So we can import again and go to the transaction screen, and okay, there it is. So we will not, I will do still another, I will first delete, and here Okay, and do some other work. So we have seen now these options. What we will do now is also sometimes you have a date, a deposit, and a withdrawal. In this case, the amount can be positive or negative, both together. But if you have would have a case with deposit and withdrawals, we would have something like this one, and 0 here, and this one 0, and here you would have minus this. Because if you select deposits and withdrawal, they need to be positive. So we will select these ones now. We'll put the sum here so you can see. And now the date, okay, is on column 1, but amount will not be taken from this column, but from the 3rd column, and the withdrawals will be taken from the 4th column. And if you do now paste, you see you get the same result. But now we have simply worked with deposit and withdrawals. We just neglect the amount. And I've prepared here something. I have here prepared a spreadsheet, but I have generated here some random numbers. What I will do now is copy them to, let's say, a few hundred, 625, no, 26. Paste. So these are automatically generated in my spreadsheet. You can see here, to come back, it's a random number between -100 and 100, and this is the same as that if it is positive or 0, and withdrawal only here. Okay, so what we will do now is copy this, press Ctrl C, go to the program, press paste. See? Okay, now there are 624 records. Apparently one of the records, because it is automatically generated, one of the amounts is 0 and it is rejected. So we will now import. So we have 624 accepted records, and we will now do the import. So it's done. The records were successfully added to the actual transactions. Okay, and here there are 624 records are generated here with the budget item, initialization account, etc., and so on. So we have seen here some simple actual, the import of some simple actual transactions using the 3-step method. We have selected information and put it into the clipboard. Then first selected the default account and the default budget item to activate the paste button. We have set correct numbers for at least the date and the amount fields. Pressed the paste button, which pastes information into the work files. We have checked the result, see why they are rejected. And then we have pressed the import button to generate the transactions. I am Edward Kosatka. Thank you for your attention.